So, brothers, we're gonna get into this video. I'm not very keen on the panelists. That guy Ace, I think that I don't even want to even call him what I was gonna call him, but I think I look at him like he loves sex. Everything that comes out his mouth has something to do is like sexual. You're gonna see one of the guys that played on one of the Tyler Perry show. I forgot the name of the show, but his name is Lance. Out of all the panelists, Lance is probably the only one that gives out. He starts out to give good advice, but he doesn't finish what he says. But we're gonna go ahead and get into the video and find out this woman who's been married for, I think she said 18 years. She has a good husband, but he's a bad communicator. And she's not, I don't think she tells the whole story. But my issue is more for the panelists, not her. But let's go ahead and get into the video.
I've been married for 18 years.
Congratulations.
Thank you. There's been no fidelity that I know about. Definitely not on my end.
So no infidelity.
Infidelity. My husband is a very good provider. Comes home every night. All the things. He's a horrible communicator. And it has been times in our marriage where he has went 6 months without speaking to me.
Now, hold on. When we say 6 months without speaking, we mean like a quality conversation or just like...
No, I mean like come in the house, walk past me, we sleep in the same bed.
No,
Yeah.
but I know you got more of your question left.
Yes.
Is it also 6 months without being intimate?
Yes.
Oh.
Brothers, why is it that every time that's the guy Ace. Every single time I have watched a video of tonight's conversation, something sexual comes out of his mouth. Now I guess that is a good question for this conversation. But for some reason, it's always something sexual that comes out of his mouth whenever somebody asks a question or they're seeking advice from the panel. But let's go ahead and continue.
Yes.
Now we can not talk but still fuck. I'm mad at you still, but we both got needs. Okay, go ahead.
So pretty much I'm growing spiritually, and so I'm kind of struggling with the fact of, do I just get a divorce or do I hang in there?
First of all, brother, what the hell does that even mean that she's growing spiritually? What does that even mean? And I've said this already before. Most of these women, I'd never really heard women start talking about spiritual or spirituality, if I even said that correctly, until after the movie of Black Panther. Once they started talking about because I saw there were women that would want to go to this fake place called Wakanda. All of a sudden, they want to talk about the ancestors. Now, all of a sudden, I start to hear the word spirituality. Now I'm spiritual. But let's move past that, brothers. If her husband doesn't speak to her for 6 months, or he walks in the house and he doesn't really say much to her, my only guess is that her mouth is reckless. But she's going to say, there's going to be a little bit more that she's going to say. But again, I really wish that we would have had the other half here, the husband, because there's more to it than that. I don't believe that most men, and I'm just going to just keep it real, most black men in America will tolerate nonsense from their women, especially their black women. They're the only race that will really tolerate the nonsense. Other races ain't tolerating this. But again, we don't know how her mouth is because that's not coming out. But let's see what the panelists have to say.
One more last question. Does he want this marriage?
He says he does.
Okay.
Context question also. When you ask him why he doesn't want to speak or why he shuts down, what's his response to that?
That he's not a good communicator and that he doesn't like to argue And so he just shuts down.
Did you hear that, brothers? She said that she doesn't like to argue. That he doesn't like to argue. So what does that tell you, brothers? What does that tell you? I don't know about the part about the bad communicator. Maybe that could be. I'm going to assume that that's true. But she also said that he doesn't like to argue. So most men don't want to go back and forth with the woman that they love. You understand, brothers? But for some reason, that's not going to be the issue. Again, let's go ahead and hear the panelists.
Has he been that way since before the marriage?
Yes.
Oh, well, I mean, that's just who this nigga is. I mean, that's the one that you picked. I mean, I don't really, he seemed to be really consistent. I mean, I don't really know what else to say about that one. Do we have any?
Real quick, brothers, you heard that. He's always been that way. When she met him, he's always probably been a calm and collective dude. I'm not about to argue with my woman. So in my opinion, I really feel that she's the one that causes a lot of chaos. She has to have her way. And I'm sure that the brother really doesn't want to have to go back and forth. But again, this is 18 years. I would love to know what he's dealing with, what he has to say. But let's continue.
It seemed like he just being himself.
Have you tried therapy, like a third party?
6 times.
6 times.
You know what they say? We in Vegas, lucky 7. Is 7 lucky or is that unlucky? Is that a lucky number?
No, it's lucky.
Okay, 7's the charm. Okay. Now, you're at the point where you're thinking about, whether or not it's time to go your separate ways.
Correct. I feel like it's emotional abuse and abandonment.
Ooh. Currently, though, y'all talking.
I'm sorry, brothers. I know I keep stopping. You heard her what she said? Emotional abuse. Emotional abuse. You see how they use the word abuse and they start to put words in front of it. Emotional abuse. I've heard financial abuse. He ain't even physically abusive. And she also said that he's never, at least from what she knows, he's never stepped out. 18 years. But again, she said that he's a good husband. What do you think she's going to... Well, go ahead, my brother.
Thank you. Yeah, and I've said this before. Women will call things they don't like abuse. Now, she just admitted that she's always been the same way, and we don't even know what that means. Like, she probably always felt like he should have been doing something vocally, and he just was not the type. He's probably just a mellow guy or a calm guy. He just... most men and women don't understand this language. Peaceful men pretty much got the same routine. They do the same stuff. They're not trying to deal with problems unless there's a real problem. Most of the time, women get influenced by their single friends. They get attached to the internet, which is negative for women, and then they start believing that her man is actually doing things he's not. They'll create shit. Because how can you say this man was like this? And how long was they together? 10 plus years?
18 years. They've been married.
18 years with a man, and she can tell everybody that she knew he was like this prior. And now it's abusive. It doesn't add up, but that's it.
Again, brothers, none of this makes sense. But again, she doesn't say much. My main issue are the panelists. Not everybody should give out advice. And again, I really believe that a lot of I think every one of them except one, which is Lance, which is the actor. He's the only one he started out saying something, but he never finished what he had to say. But we'll go ahead and get into that.
We've been talking for about a couple, maybe 10 words after he just hasn't been talking to me for about 10 weeks.
So he just like, he come home and just say hi now.
No, he walks past me. It's silent. It's unbelievable. It's silent.
Before we, Lance, what's your thoughts?
Nah, it sounds, well, he's obviously shut down, but
Yes.
sometimes it's a such thing as healthy communication. So you also have to ask yourself how you receive what he's telling you. He might have shut down because you weaponize everything that he says, and you don't.
I'm gonna say this.
Lance, why didn't you finish what you were going to say? Why did you stop there? A lot of women do weaponize some of the things that you say. They'll throw things back in your
Right.
face. And I'm not saying that men don't do it either, but women will do it. They don't forget certain things. Lance, so now that Lance said that, nobody else piggybacks off of what he said. Nobody. So now we're about to get, and I'm going to call the rest of the panel, because of what happened with this scenario, the rest of the panelists are clowns at what they're about to say. And in my personal opinion, they're not giving her good advice at all. But if you want to say something real.
Yeah, I think the whole audience full of women was about to feel hit, like a hit dog hollered. So he stopped himself. He knows what type of audience he's dealing with. And he was about to say, he was basically saying that women don't understand some of the development that that gets created with women.
Mm-hmm.
It's simply because of how they behave. Because once she said that man was like that prior, it really just it really just goes to show that she created the problem.
Right.
You was with this man for 18 years. Now, if she would have said out the blue, they would have went about it. Now, I still agree with you. Like, they're not giving the best advice because I think they still got to pander to the type of audience they get, and obviously based on based on the type of women that have these questions, they got to pander to more or less how women think. So he had to stop himself, because
Right.
I do believe this man is a panderer of women. Like, I think he's one of those guys that tries to make I don't know, that's a whole nother video, but yeah, man, everything you're saying is on point, bro.
And brothers, there's a backstory to Lance too, because there's a girl that he dated, and she now says that she messed up. She was in a relationship with him. Basically, I'm gonna just say this. She said that she did not want to have kids with him at that time, and he moved on. And she now, after 15 years, she's actually said that she regretted. But that's a whole nother video. I'm not really gonna get too much into that. That's why I say that Lance, I feel like he should have finished what he was about to say. But just like Real said, maybe he's pandering to the audience, because I'm sure that the majority of the audience are women. So let's go ahead and continue, because now we're about to get the clowns that are about to speak.
I'm gonna say this. There are certain things that happen. This sounds like a quiet quitting thing to me. This sounds like the reason why women initiate 70% of divorces is because sometimes men dare them to. If you can come into a household for months on end and not speak to your wife, what do you think is going to happen? And I've said this multiple different times on multiple different platforms. At some point when you do decide to leave, now you're going to be the motherfucking villain.
Correct.
And then he's gonna act like I was there and I didn't want to get a divorce, but your actions are saying that. So is there any other thoughts with this?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Y'all know I have to think. I'm sorry, but she made a good point when she said that's emotional abuse. It would be different if they're in a conflict or something like that, and he becomes flooded and then he shuts down, and it becomes like maybe a couple hours or something like that. But when we go on 6 months of giving the silent treatment and not communicating with this person at all, that is a form of emotional abuse. At that point, and it's...
Go ahead, bro.
She just said this man was like this when she met him. Like, how is that how is that if she accepted how this man came, she's trying to find something. Like Slim said, she said he's a great man. Communication. Now, do I think it's outrageous that? But I think it's also outrageous that you could admit that this guy was like this and you stay with him for 18 years.
Right.
That's what's really outrageous. Like you're a willing participant in the abuse. You pretty much accepted the behavior or the way, and we're just gonna have to take what you're saying with face value. But if what you're saying is true by your own admission, you can't turn what you accepted at the beginning into abuse, even if it is in fact abusive. But you can't be with a person for 18 years, literally 18 years, and go on the show and be like, I think he's abusive now. And he don't even know how to be another type of guy because he been like that prior to her.
Right.
Well, that's it.
Brothers, you can't make this stuff up. And to be honest with you, brothers, this young lady here that's speaking, she's married. So now I've seen her in other shows and she gives out good advice. I just think that this here, after the rest of the stuff that she say, is poor. It's very poor of what she says. I think maybe I used the wrong word, but I don't like the advice that she's given. And I really didn't even expect what she's about to, she's going to finish what she said. I didn't even expect what she says out of her. Ace, yeah, I expect that because from what I see, he panders to the women, but not her. A lot of times she keeps it real, but this I ain't feeling. But let's go ahead and continue.
It's 6 months, and this is something that happens in cycles, like different seasons this happens.
Yes.
And then y'all have done therapy, and it's still no commitment to actually change
Correct.
that. So once he relapses, it's like we go right back in the same cycle.
That's correct.
Some marriages, when they become abusive in that nature, because it's not just physical abuse, emotional abuse is very big because it changes the way you think. It changes the way you respond. It changes the way you feel about yourself and things like that. You can walk away in that situation. You can. And that's probably a situation where you should. Because it's not like this is something that's happening because it's like a seasonal depression type of thing. This is just negligence of a marriage based on what you're saying. This is negligence of a marriage. This is also negligence of his role as a husband as well. You know, I know we talk about providing and leadership and things like that, but that's a real important part of leadership and provision is how am I stewarding this marriage? And how am I caring for you emotionally and myself? What am I doing that helps our marriage to grow? Because it seems like he's just like slowly eating away at it. And it could just be for you to walk away, but it shouldn't get to a point to where now he has to use this type of tactic to get something out of you or anything like that. So if that's a decision that you make, I understand it. Sometimes that's what you have to do.
Bad advice. Very bad advice. And I'm gonna wait till all the panelists finish. There's a question that nobody asked her. Lance said it, but nobody asked the question that I am going to ask. But I'm gonna wait till the end. Because now we got another clown that's about to say some clown shit.
You know, Mike, what's up?
Really sensitive subjects.
Yes.
I don't have much mature to offer. I think y'all are doing a really good job on the mature. If she does leave, I just have a request, a desire, if you will, to not take anything with you when you go.
What?
I'm talking no alimony.
What?
Take me off the life insurance.
What?
Leave the TV.
What?
And the couch. Because I've been who I've been. I need you to relax. I've been who I've been this entire time. And when provision was your desire for who you picked in a partner, I was qualified. Through sickness and health, if it was an end of provision, people might have left. When you ain't got cable no more and you ain't got the cheese and the crackers, shit get real funny. But to stay 18 years, and some days you can roll the dice on whether you're gonna get spoken to, but you stayed this long, stay. Now leave, but you're leaving because you wanted more. So don't take nothing with you when you go.
What?
So I wanted more. I wanted exactly what he was supposed to give me as a husband, which was encouragement, support, love, affection, attention, and I'm taking all that shit when I got it.
You see what she just did? You see what he did? That's why I said that was some clown shit that he just did. And then you see her attitude? And I'm not saying that she shouldn't take anything from him, but again, there's a question that hasn't been asked yet. Let's see what else the other panelists have to say. Because again, one question that needs to be asked. Let's continue.
You know what? Thank you.
Okay, you better walk that walk. You better walk that walk.
Okay, then. Yeah.
Clock it.
Hey, listen.
Okay.
Now, hey, bro, when the episode airs, if you need me, Top Dog is here. Top Dog is here. I got lawyers.
Does that sound like he's trying to holler at somebody else's wife? You see why I said that the panelists are some clowns? I could be wrong, but that's what it sounds like. Like he's trying to shoot his shot at somebody else's wife, ready to commit adultery.
Yeah, that's some clown shit.
Very clownish. But these are supposed to be, and I know they're not professional, but they're supposed to at least try to give out good advice. None of them gave out any good advice, in my opinion. Emotional abuse. You got a man that's actually taking care of you. You have a roof over your head. I'm not saying that she doesn't have a job, but I'm sure this man is probably working 9 to 5, probably working maybe more than that, probably doing a 10-hour shift, bringing home the money, making sure she has a good roof over her head. I'm sure they might have children, so he helped raise them children. But one question they did not ask her: how do you talk to your husband when y'all are if y'all are even, because she used the word argue, because she said he doesn't like to argue. How do you talk to him? Why nobody asked her that? Why did nobody ask her that question? You think that man is just being quiet for no reason?
That's a fact.
I've spoken about this, brother. There are men that are literally sitting inside their car, not even ready to go inside after work because they know what they're going to come home to. They already know. They know they're going to come home to a nagging wife. It even speaks about that in the Bible. I just wish that I remembered the verse, but it has something to do with better to be alone than sit in a house with a nagging wife or sit on top of a roof or something.
A quarrelsome wife. Yeah, they're better to be in the corner of the attic of the house than to deal with a quarrelsome wife.
So, brothers, and I'm gonna get my scripture game up a lot more, but brothers, that's the one question they should have asked her. How do you talk to your wife? How do you talk to your husband? Do you talk to him lovingly? Because I guarantee you that she'd probably be going off. I seriously doubt that she'd be, oh, it's going to be okay, baby. No. Brothers, we got to do better out here. I know these women are, I'm going to just say it, most of these women are agents of chaos. Most black men will tolerate the nonsense from women, especially our women. We want to be married to our black colored women. Most of them are. The majority of black men that are married to black women. But for some reason, and even that goofy Ace said it, 70% of divorces that are filed are by women. But that ain't the reason. Whatever he said ain't the reason. Do you think that they want to find better? I don't care what the stat says about finances. That might be true. Infidelity, that might be true. But I think that most of these women are bored because they don't want to deal with the man that's doing the same thing every single day. That's exactly why I believe, and that's just my opinion. That's why they're getting these divorces. I'm tired of dealing with this man. All he do is go to work. All he do is pay bills. Man, I'm tired of him. He's always driving that same ass boring ass car. And every time I come home from the groceries inside the garage fixing all his car. Man can't even have their own space. Nowadays. You got men that now have man caves. And even the man caves are even getting infiltrated. Barbershops getting infiltrated. Men can't even have their own space anymore. Women want to be up under men in men's spaces. So again, brothers, that was the question that they should have asked that woman. How do you speak to your husband when y'all have a disagreement? And I bet you it's toxic. But I think that's it. Let me see what else is going on if they say anything else to her, because I didn't get through the whole thing.
Lawyer money, I got bail money. Don't let her walk away with all your shit, bro.
Now, woo!
This is another example of, I guess, a woman marrying for potential, not the present.
How long are they married again?
18 years.
Yeah, I'm not saying it to be on your side. I'm just saying, if they married for 18 years, there is enough time for a person to grow and mature and see where there's a lack of maturation. And that's that lack. Because, come on now, I'm sure that, and I don't know, but I'm just making an assumption. I'm sure that you have to grow as well, right? You have to grow, right? I see you, okay. I'm sure she had to grow as well, but we're talking about communication, which is the basic foundation of a marriage. We have to be able to commune with one another and have discussions and things like that.
I'm not arguing with the fact that she should leave. What I'm saying is, if you're gonna leave, then don't take nothing with you.
But why not?
Brother, that doesn't even matter. It's almost like you guys are more pushing for her to get a divorce. Who cares about the materialistic stuff right now? Y'all not even asking the real questions. That's why I said earlier that they are some clowns, at least for this scenario. They're some clowns. Only person that I felt that, and he should have continued, was Lance. But he didn't finish. And I think because of what Real said, because I guess he didn't want to, or maybe he probably was going to get some negative reactions, because then it would have probably looked like it was her fault. And we don't know. We don't know if it is her fault or not.
Mm-hmm.
But again,
Mm-hmm.
I just believe that if we had his side of the story, it would have gave a lot more context. But again, I'm going to say this one more time. One of those panelists should have asked her, when y'all get into some type of disagreement or even an argument, do you talk to him crazy? Do you talk down to him? But nobody asked that question. We worried about emotional abuse. And if that's the case, since everybody's over, even though the brother said you should leave by yourself, and the whole audience and people are like, nah, she should be taking stuff with her. Hey, maybe he's going to be financially abused. Let's see how this ends.
Why not? They
took 18 years from her.
Ooh.
She signed up for the 18 and stayed. If the provision wasn't there, she wouldn't have stayed 18 years. If the abuse was serious, she wouldn't have stayed there 18 years. She played her role strategically. What does she do?
That's
and now
why-
she wants more, so she should leave. Go find more, but don't take my shit.
That's why I asked the question I asked. God damn it, we gotta establish foundation here. Look, calm down, everybody, calm down.
And that's one of the biggest problems y'all got on up on the panel. And I get it. Y'all over there appeasing to the audience, and I'm sure that if I was in the audience and I could stand up, I'm sure that 80% of the audience is women. You know what? I'll probably say 95% of them. 95% of the audience is women. That's what I believe. I'll put half of my paycheck that 95% of the audience are women. You think men really want to come up here and listen to all this nonsense? But let's go ahead and continue, because I didn't even know they was even saying all this.
We gotta establish foundation here. I can't feel sorry for somebody who knew what the fuck they was walking into. When I asked her, how was his communication before the marriage? She said it was bad before the marriage.
No, she didn't say it was bad. She said that's how he was when she met him. Now y'all changing the scenario. See, again, the panelists are some clowns. She never said the word bad. She said that she probably liked that about him because he was very mild. He was I'm sure he was probably well-mannered, mild. He didn't really have to talk much. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what he looked like, but she probably liked that about him. But again, brothers, I'm going to be honest with you. A lot of women love chaos. That's why they don't like the good guy. See, she probably hasn't, and I'm just going to give my personal opinion. She probably never really experienced the bad guy, the thug, the guy on the streets. And maybe that's what she wants. She wants a little bit of chaos in her life. And the fact that she's older is crazy. That she probably wants that. That man probably really don't feel like going back and forth with nobody. He ain't got time for that. I don't know what his job is. His job could be stressful. Why does he need to come home to more stress? She probably at home could be raising the children, and then she wants to take it out on her husband. And instead, her husband's like, you know what? I ain't really got time for this. I'm going to just go ahead and go watch TV, play some video games, go to the garage and stay and be to himself. That's what I believe. And again, I'm probably not even correct. But again, why did he have to say bad if that's not what she said? She never said the word bad. She said that's how she met him. But let's go ahead and continue.
So why the fuck would you marry somebody with bad communication? A lot of us buy Toyota Corollas and expect them to drive like Lamborghinis. It don't work like that. If you want a man that's great at communication, you marry a man that's great at communication. You don't marry a motherfucker who can't talk to you, who can't express himself, and then expect him to one day wake up and say, you know what, boom, I'm a panelist on tonight's conversation. It doesn't work like that. That's not reality. So again, I can't feel sorry for that. If you signed up for that, you take the fine print that you signed up for.
But I will say, I totally agree with that. But like we were talking in the back, like you can learn on the job. Like you go to school to evolve, to learn. That's like being in school 8 years and not learning a motherfucking thing. You know what I'm saying? Your partner is supposed to push you to grow. You grow together when you're in a marriage. You're not the same person that you married 18 years ago. You're supposed to be the better version of yourself. It's supposed to get easier. You know what I'm saying?
All right, well, you know what?
I get both sides.
Y'all was potted. That's some good potting.
Hold on. Who's to say that he never pushed her? Who's to say he never pushed her? Now, see, again, nobody's asking the question. How does she talk to her husband? Nobody's asking that question. But We only got one side because he's not there. And to be honest with you, brothers, she should be she should be ashamed. And if her husband said that I'm divorcing you, I would have no problem with that because, in my opinion, she is embarrassing him on live television or live where millions of people can see this. Who's to say that one of his cousins ain't watching this? One of his uncles, one of his family members might be watching this. And next thing you know, it's like, man, why your wife now? And it's going to even make things worse. Man, why your wife acting like this? Your wife represents you, brothers. If you have a wife, or even if it's your fiance or your woman, she represents you, just like your children represent you. And if that's his wife, she's carrying his last name. Why is a Alexander acting like this? She represents you, brothers. Let's continue.
What's your name? What's your question?
We have to get to.
But that's it, brothers. That's it. I did not like what the panelists did. They basically, in my opinion, they boosted her up without asking the. I felt like that one question would have probably gave out a lot more context. All they had to do was ask, how do you talk to your man when you have a disagreement or y'all are in an argument? Do you belittle him? Do you talk down to him? Do you use profanity when you're talking to him? That would have solved that. I guarantee that would have opened up something. That would have opened up a better conversation. But instead, he's emotionally abusive. And then they're telling her,
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, slipped on him.
brothers, we gotta look, brothers. It's going to be hard to choose a woman out here in 2026, brothers. It's going to be very difficult to choose, and I'm not going to even say the right woman. I'm going to say a good woman. In 2026, it's going to be very difficult. Most of these good women, every woman that you run up on or you talk to, all of them are going to say they're good. They all believe that they're good, brothers, but they're not. There's a lot of them that are not good. Some of them are they will be verbally abusive. Some of them might even be physical. There might be a couple that might want to call the cops on you just because you cheated and get her way. We got to choose wisely, brothers. We have to choose wisely. Is there something that you want to say, Real? My apologies.
Oh no, you good. I was agreeing with you. I was just interjecting in agreement. Yeah, but I kind of disagree with what you're saying. I agree if they were being more honest and hitting in this show was a little bit more accountable. If you would have asked that question, women naturally would say, "Oh, I see what you're trying to do now. You asking questions about her every time you want to know about her when she's talking about that means you're trying to basically blame her for and that's how the audience would have took it that way."
Right.
And I think that's why he didn't. I'm not saying that's why he didn't. I agree with you. I think that if they would have just said that, Slim, this conversation would have been over in 3 minutes because all they're gonna say was, "Well, you said he was like that when you said he had the same behavior patterns when you met him, and then you're saying you got a mouth on you." If I had to guess, I think that he just shut down, because he's just trying to avoid arguing with you. He's not saying I'm done with you. He's just saying I don't want to argue. I'd rather be silent. But that would have been like 3 minutes, and women would have got mad because they're saying, "Oh, so they would have made something dumb." So, but I do agree with you. I think he stopped. I knew he was about to say women got these type of behaviors, and they will think the way that they would think their attitude that provokes, they know their man don't like it. Most of women know their man don't like arguing every time there's a problem. They don't want to be micromanaged in the house. They don't want to be everything they do seems to be a problem. So when women do it, they know what they're doing. I think women kind of low key provoke a man by doing that. So the only men are not typically taught how to break up. Men are
Yeah.
taught to do what you're supposed to do, and if they're doing something that would cause you to want to break up, that
Hmm.
would be not a man. So men have just probably just created this way of silence where it's just like, you know what? If my chick been complaining about everything, if I see her in the living room, I'm gonna go in the room and watch TV. If I see her in the room watching TV, I'm going to the living room. She looking at it like, oh, why does he don't like being around me? But it's like if every time they talk, there's an argument, but he don't want to leave you, and he don't want to be mad at you. Yeah, the silence is the best answer. But I agree with you. It should have went that route. But this show is too immature because the guy even said, "I don't have the most immature. I mean, the most mature response."
Right.
And so it was kind of weird.
But brothers, that's pretty much it. I think this is going to be my new thing to be reacted to because I like the topics. I just don't like a lot of the answers from the panelists, especially Ace. And I think he even said in an interview, I think he said that he used to be a simp. So I guess maybe that's why he do what he does. But that's pretty much it, brothers.
Hmm.
I'm out.